On this episode of The Failure Report, we examine how Charlie Holley, former congressional candidate, lost his 2012 run for Congress, which led to depression, but propelled his professional career. Charlie Holley, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with me today. I so appreciate it. I'm here in Huntsville, Alabama, your current home, and I got the opportunity to meet with you. So thank you so much for being here today.
You are very much welcome, Dion.
Thank you. Thank you. So Charlie I've known you for many years now.
Yes.
And I don't remember how we met, but I definitely remember us working together. And a lot of you may know, I started my professional career as a political manager and strategist. And Charlie at the time was running for Congress, and our contacts collided and we connected, and I managed your campaign for Congress. So I need to know all about you, where you are today, what you're doing, all the fun things.
Of course. We connected because, like you said, I was running for Congress, and I told someone, I said, I really need a campaign manager. And that person said, have you met Dion?
Wow.
And I said, no, I haven't. So that's how you and I got connected, and we began to actually run campaigns together. So I live in Huntsville right now. I am Madison born and bred, North Alabama, the youngest of 17 children. Yes, I said 17.
Man. You know, I interviewed Kim Lewis of the XYZ Project, and she was one of 10. You're one of 17. It's a kind of a running line here in Alabama. You get a lot of kids, got a big family.
Exactly. And we had a very, very big family. So I was born and raised here, went to East Limestone, went to Sneed State Junior College, graduated from UAH. And have been doing server type work, technical type work for over 30 years. Wow. And still doing it right now.
That's amazing. And when you said service type work, what do you do?
A computer server type work.
Server.
So I am a server engineer.
Okay.
And I work for a contracting firm. Government contracting firm. So that's what I do at the moment.
That's what you do. And it's so interesting because, whenever someone decides to run for political office, there's a lot of things that happen. You don't wake up one day and say, you know what, I think that I could make a difference, and that people should listen to me.
Exactly.
What happened? Tell me that. How did you decide to run for Congress? And I honestly don't know this story. I'm ready to hear this.
I saw this fascinating African American actually run for and win the presidency of the United States of America. And we all know who that is, Barack Obama. Right. And his story inspired me so much until I decided to run. I thought, if he can do it, so can I. Yeah. Even in Alabama, which is ruby red, right?
Yes, it is.
Republican country.
Right.
So his story inspired me to run. So the next season, in 2011, 2012 season, I decided to run for U.S. Congress. Federal office of all things, So needless to say, I gave it a good run, but it did not work out.
That's the end of the story.
Lost.
We lost. We lost.
And that loss devastated me personally, because although looking back now, I realized that I really didn't have really much of a chance, but then I thought I really could win.
Yeah. I believed in you too.
Yeah. And that loss devastated me because I am a people person. I love people. And I know that not only did I let myself down, I didn't reach my goal.
Right.
But I also let other people down who were actually counting on me, and they believed in me.
They did. Right.
So that loss really, really hurt me.
Yeah, you told the end of the story, because I was going to tell the end of the story is that you didn't win.
Right.
And you had this goal of winning. You had thousands of individuals who voted for you.
Exactly.
I've watched you every single day put everything that you had into this campaign. You shook every hand. You attended every forum. You planned every speech. You did all of the things right, and it didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. You said it devastated you. How so?
I was really let down because instead of me winning and making everyone proud, and being the first African American to represent Instead, all of that dropped.
Yeah.
And I became sad. I don't think I actually reached the stage to where I really was so low that I became depressed about it.
Right.
But I was really, really sad.
Yeah.
And I really thought about it. And there were 3 things that all people need in order to be successful. I call it PCE.
PCE. Okay.
PCE. The P is for passion. Oh, I was passionate about it. I had the passion.
Yes.
I could talk to the people.
Right.
I could work the room.
Yeah.
I loved it because, again, I am a people person.
Right.
I had the passion. But the C stands for connections.
Yes.
I didn't have the connection.
The connections.
I did not understand that you had to work your way up, that
Yeah.
you had to come into this political party, that you had to work some people, get to know some people, run for some offices that were on lower levels, and then work your way up. So I did not have those critical connections that I needed. The E stands for experience.
Yeah.
I did not have political experience.
Yeah.
I did not understand that there were certain things that you could do and could not do and that you need to do. And so I missed those things.
Yeah.
So although I had the passion.
Right. Which is very first.
Right. Yeah. Did not have those necessary connections and did not have that critical experience.
And it's so interesting because if it applies to almost anything that you do in business.
Exactly.
Is that, if you are washing cars, you can love to wash cars all you want, and you can be
Yes.
passionate about it.
Yes.
But if you don't actually have anyone who wants their car washed,
Right. You're out of business.
and you
Exactly.
don't know what products to use
Exactly.
in order to wash the few cars that you've washed and you've messed them up, you don't have that formula, and
Yes.
that's really interesting. I'm going to remember that PCE.
Yes.
If you don't have the passion connections and the experience, you can fall short.
Right.
And what I witnessed in this, and being a manager and managing as many campaigns as I have, you watch individuals who don't have the passion and doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
You see that individuals are interested in the position.
Right.
They're interested in the power. They're interested in a higher purpose
Exactly.
of why they're actually doing it. But you truly, I can honestly say it, I'm not just saying it for the camera, had the passion to do it. But connections and experience were
Yeah.
things that you were lacking.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't be successful if you don't have those things.
Exactly.
And so I've noticed that individuals who don't have those connections can get them.
Yes.
We have a president, in my opinion, is learning on the job. So I don't
Exactly.
have to have experience in order to do these things. But having a general knowledge, are you saying that it's
Yes.
best to have more of a
Right.
general knowledge? Because I don't
Right.
necessarily believe in, or maybe you do, and let me know, working from the bottom up, I have to run for a smaller office.
Right.
Like, school board or
Right.
city council, then take those steps. Is that what you're saying? Or you
No.
think that would be more helpful?
No, that would be helpful, but you can actually overcome that if you have the right connections.
Yes,
The
you
people who do have the knowledge, the connections that you do need in order to get wherever you want to go.
Yeah. Faster.
So,
because,
yeah.
the hardest part about running for offices is that you don't do it for very long.
Right.
We're
Right.
You don't have it's a sprint. You don't
Right.
have a long time to make those connections. If you had
Exactly.
a year and a half,
Right.
some individuals do plan that far out. We had about 4 months.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
We had about 4 solid months to make up a lot of ground. And,
Yes.
And the thing is, it's like you said, it was you failed. You didn't
Yes.
become the U.S. congressman.
Right.
What did you take away from that?
I learned that lesson, PCE, but I also took away from that failure was not the end.
Yes.
And so I look forward to my next thing.
Yeah. The next
And
chapter.
yes,
Yeah.
and so months after that, get this now, months after that, I walked away from my steady, predictable job that I had had for 18 years. 18 years. Walked away from it all.
Joint Effort Business and Marketing Consulting specializes in finding solutions for startups, small businesses, and nonprofits. We offer branding, marketing, social media management, development, and capacity building consulting services to companies who are just starting out or need help taking their business to the next level. Please contact us online for a consultation at jointeffortllc.com or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Joint Effort LLC.
And so I said, I think I want to start my own business.
Okay.
Now notice that I think I want to start.
I think it's a little more than a notion.
Yeah, I think I want to start my own business. And so I started a consulting company. It was called Solomon Technology Consulting. Now, I've been doing this stuff for over 30 years, so I figured I got the experience, right?
Yeah. You got the C. Oh my God, you got the E and the PCE. Okay.
And so when I actually started to do it, I discovered that I actually had to do business things.
Yeah.
Reports, taxation, tons of paperwork. And I hated it.
Uh-oh, you didn't have the passion for it.
I detested it. I was like, I hate this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just did not have the passion for the business side, which you had to have. And I mean, if I'm going to start and be successful at having a business, you have to be familiar with the business side of the house. And that's the side that I discovered that I hated.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated doing the necessary things that it took to get this business up and going. I love the server side of it, the technical side, but I couldn't get to the technical side without going through the business side.
Business side first. And you're the owner.
And yeah, right, exactly. I have no one that I can just pass this to and say, hey, do this.
Do this. Fill out these papers for me real quick. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So needless to say, that lasted for about a year.
Okay. Wow.
Never got any major contracts because I just didn't have the passion to get up and do what I needed to do. So I went back into
it. Your 18-year-old.
And I don't have a job. I have a family.
Yes.
I have responsibilities to take care of.
Yeah.
And so a year of that was about all that I could take and about all that my wife could take.
I was going to say, how did your wife fare with this?
Right. She's just like, we're not bringing in any money. It's time for us to do something here.
Yeah.
So that's when I went back into the job force, got a job in Tennessee, close to Memphis, Tennessee, doing, again, server type work. And so
that is so interesting because, you feel like you're walking backwards.
And that's exactly how I felt. I was like, this business thing didn't work out, and now I'm going back to the thing that I just left.
How did that
and
make
it
you
felt
feel?
like I'm just backwards. It's like I failed. I'm already feeling bad, and now I'm going backwards.
Man, but
it's
you know
like
what? It takes a lot to say a year, is it? I was in a business relationship and I was acquiring a partner. I never worked with a partner before.
Okay.
Thought I needed this partnership in order to be, it's two of us now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's something to say, it takes a lot of bravery to say, this is not working.
Yes.
Actually, that single situation was why I started the failure report, is because I looked at the situation and said, how long am I going to allow myself to fail before I pull it? When do you call it? I call it time of death. There's a time of death.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's call it at time. We're dead. Okay, you're still compressing.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
What was that day like for you? Whenever you said, was it because I know that there was a day that you were sitting and you were like,
exactly.
This business is not working. I want it to, but I can't.
Exactly. So I'm sitting at the table, and we've got our finances out, and we're looking. It's like I've been surviving thus far off of my retirement income that I pulled out to get this business started, and we're looking and we're saying, we got about a couple more months before we're completely out of finances when we start bringing stuff in. And so I just had to really man up and just say, okay, drop my pride.
Sure.
It's time for me to do something else now.
Yeah. And you say about your pride, it's so interesting because I feel like it's easier, this is so sexist, for women to start businesses when they're married because they have someone to lean on.
Oh, yeah.
Take care of me while I go out and figure out what I want to do, succeed, fail, waste our money, things like that, because I have somebody there. When a man is the individual that is supposed to be the head of the house, the breadwinner. You have all these old-time ideals of what this man is supposed to be in the house.
Exactly.
When that's not what you're able to do, I'm sure that's a different feeling. It's an emotion. And sometimes I've heard individuals say, I can't even put the emotion into words. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm supposed to be this and I'm not.
Absolutely.
And that has to be, it's difficult.
It is.
How was your wife during that time?
She was panicking, of course, because at that time she wasn't working. And I, the sole breadwinner, had no bread.
When the breadwinner has no bread.
When the breadwinner has no bread. Exactly.
That's a good book.
And
That's
so
a book title for you.
Exactly. And she was like, honey, don't you think you better go out and do something different? And I'm 2 months earlier, I'm saying, something's going to break.
Yeah.
Something's going to break. You know, something's going to happen pretty soon. I'm just going to hang on here a little bit. And she keeps saying, months later, come on now, you know. And so she just had to finally just kind of nudge me into saying, honey, I think it's time.
It's time. It's time. So she was the individual that helped you call
Exactly.
it. Yeah. And you know,
Exactly.
you all have been, you have a beautiful marriage. You've been married for many years.
Yes, 32 years.
32 years. I'm sure you looked in her eyes and said, I can't do it. Yeah. There's a point where your partner, your life partner, is the one that can kind of speak that into you
Exactly.
sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was my husband, too, that was like, you know, babe, I support you and everything. That was the opening statement. I support you. But. Yeah.
There's that big butt in there, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, you know, how much longer are you going to do this? How much more of your savings are you going to run through? How much longer, you know?
Yes.
So, you know, so you went back to work, and and Memphis is not close to here.
Right.
Did you relocate?
Yes, we did. Yeah, moved out there, totally pulled up and just moved. I mean, you know, we had to, you know.
Yeah. Because that's where you found a job.
Yeah.
And so you said, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Exactly. Went out there, loved it. Loved the actual area. And so I got our financial footing back. And then we ended up moving back here.
Okay.
Because
you found another job.
You know, yes, another job. So moved back here. But now I want to tell you about my third project.
Okay.
Speaking.
So
I love public speaking.
You do.
Now, I've been speaking for over 20 years.
Right.
So this is not new to me.
Right.
But I haven't been doing public speaking. So that's something I just started 6 months ago.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes.
That is awesome. What do you speak about? What do you do?
Leadership and employee engagement.
That's awesome.
Those are my two main topics.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting my footing under me. Everything's going well.
Yeah.
I've got the passion.
You got it.
I love doing it.
The formula.
Got the passion. I am creating the connections.
Creating the connections.
So I just joined Toastmasters.
Yes.
Yeah, which is just an awesome speaking group. I'm getting to meet all kinds of people from all around the world. Yes. So I'm getting those connections made. Now, the experience I already have over 20 years.
Yeah.
It's just not been public speaking. It's been private, you know, religious type speaking. But so far, I won our first 2 international speaking contests. We have 5 to go. I've won the first 2. Got another one coming up. So I just feel so excited because this is something that I'm passionate about. This is something, right, I've got the connections, I'm getting there. I've got that experience, and I've got the talent.
And you have the talent to do it. Do you feel as if working in the private sector or working for someone else is just not what you want to inevitably do? Or is it something that you would always kind of keep your hand on, saying, I want to stay here, but I also want to pursue my other things? You know how some people say, you keep your day job and let your side hustle just be, what is it, where are you at right now?
Right. I want this to be my full-time something that I do.
Full-time.
Full-time.
Yeah.
I want to travel the world.
Yeah.
I want to see things. I want to go to places. But I also want to do what I love and make some income.
And make some income doing it. And speaking does allow you to do that. You know, you have a very unique story, and what I love is that you're open enough to tell it. I can't be a leader without making a misstep. I can't lead without making a mistake.
Exactly.
I can't lead without doing something that hasn't actually panned out. You know what I mean? But let me tell you how to actually be a leader. And it takes me saying, I thought this was a good idea, and it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What are some of the things that you, as a leader, have taken away from a lot of your experience that help you in your speaking?
The number one thing is there are people is a big thing. People who will be there for you, even in your failures.
Yeah.
Leading in Color is a podcast hosted by Dion Stokes, founder of Joint Effort, Business Marketing Consulting, and me, Marta Miranda Straub, founder of Catapult Now, an organization and leadership development and training firm. We thrive on engaging in raw, courageous conversations and topics that unpack systems of oppression that impact leaders at the margins of white, patriarchal culture.
So I went to the protest, and when I went to the protest, there weren't a lot of white faces in the crowd. And I thought, what's wrong with this scenario? Because, you know, people have been organizing around all these issues, and in the white activist community, there was this question, why don't black people join our movements?
Right, as opposed to, why aren't we at the table in their movement?
We are passionate about naming and dismantling the barriers of implicit bias, raising consciousness, and forging new ways to think about leadership that does not replicate power over others and create transformational leadership models based on systems of liberation. Join Leading in Color. Join the revolution.
Those are the ones you need to hang on to. Because you'll have lots of people there when you are succeeding and doing well.
Everyone's there.
Oh, yeah, everybody's there. But it's only those people who are there when you have failed and you're sitting there with your head down and you're going, man, I don't know how this could happen. And that person just comes along and says, that's okay. I believe in you. I found those 3 or 4 people in my life. And I hang on to
that's all that it is.
Yes.
That's all that you need. You surround yourself with an inner sanctum of individuals who speak that life into you, that believe in you. And so some individuals feel like they need a crew.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
this is my crew.
Exactly.
These 3 people are my crew.
Exactly.
Because you said, it's hard to say that, I was sad and I was on the brink of, full-fledged depression. But when you are at that point, it is those individuals that you can call back on.
Exactly.
I know that you're a man of faith and that, you definitely were like, okay, God, like, listen, I don't want to get too down on myself, but I know that you took a lot away from that.
Yes.
And that experience, of course, I took a lot away from it as well. Because whenever you are doing a sprint like that and you don't have the connections and you don't have the experience, passion sometimes is not enough.
Right. Exactly right.
I would love to hear why passion is not enough. And you touched on it.
Because there are practical things. Success is a lot about passion. But there's a lot of practical things involved in it. When I did not like to do my business paperwork, those are practical things.
Little things,
And they have to be done.
Yeah.
So it really is a mixture of passion and practical things.
Because it's your story resonates with individuals who are musicians, artists, business owners of any type. Is that if you don't like all of it, maybe you can't do any of it.
Right.
If you were to hire someone first, who would that I take it would probably be an assistant to help you with the paperwork.
Absolutely.
Would that have been the difference?
Yes, I believe so. Because it would have allowed me then to focus on what I love to do, which is the technical side of it. But since I wasn't bringing any money in, and really didn't have a whole lot to pay anybody, I had to rely upon myself.
Right. And sometimes you have to make those sacrifices. You say, okay, so I'm not able to pay anyone. Maybe I don't take a salary so that I can pay this person. And it's a hard decision to make.
Yes.
And again, especially when you have a partner looking at you like, so now let me get this straight. You're going to take our savings, pay somebody else, and they're going to make you successful.
Yes.
And then
and you're going, well, now that you say it that way.
when you add the air quotes, I mean, but truly, oftentimes that is the thing that is the secret that makes or breaks you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so is that something that you look at and you say, maybe if I did that different? What is that one thing that you say, if I did this differently?
If I had really planned more. If I had done that differently. My style of planning is, and I'm a very optimistic person. I see things for what they could be, not necessarily
What they are.
things for what they are.
That's interesting.
And and I have learned a lot just by saying, okay, Charlie, this is what you want it to be, but what is it really? And so there have been several times where I have had to basically back down off of my view of something so that I could see it for what it really was.
And that's a good thing. It's beautiful to be optimistic. There's so many individuals that are pessimistic and don't believe anything. Nothing good could happen. Not for me, surely. But it is a blessing. But now that you see, I need to take my big picture, this big, beautiful picture of where I could be, and I need to plan towards it. Because like you said, leaving your job after all these years, you had time to plan. This is what I need to do. Or I could say, I'm going to work this job and build this clientele.
There you go.
Before I just take the leap.
That is exactly what I should have done. Exactly what I should have done. So if I had to do it differently, I would go back and say, like just like you said, keep my full-time job. But let's start working in that area.
And it sounds like that's what you're doing now.
Yes,
so you learn from those mistakes.
Absolutely.
You say like, okay, well, I won't do that way.
Right. Been there, done that.
And they've done that.
Yes.
And, and sometimes, thankfully, you have the opportunity to make that decision. Some people are kicked out of the nest.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Some people don't have the privilege to keep their job. Sometimes individuals are fired from their jobs.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now they're saying, okay, now I have to make these things work. So while you
Exactly.
have the opportunity, you take it. I'm going back to you running for U.S. Congress. I remember the night that our numbers were coming in and we were at your announcement party.
Yes.
And I was looking at the numbers and, at that time.
I could see it on your face, by the way. When you were looking at your phone, I was thinking, this is not good.
This isn't good. And I'm just scrolling. I've been doing it at this time. I had been doing this for many years, and I know where we need to be at a certain time of the evening. If by polls close at this time, by this time, if you're not at least at this percent,
Right.
And having to come and tell someone that we have failed.
Yes.
It's hard, especially whenever you work with someone that is as passionate as you are. And again, it's why I started the failure report. It's these moments that you say, it doesn't mean that I'm not a good manager. It doesn't mean that I'm not. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy to be U.S. congressman. It meant that not this time,
Yes.
not this way,
Yes.
not with this amount of planning,
Yes.
not these things. And so you take those things and you say, next time I'm going to do them
Yes.
different. So
Yes.
next time when you run for
Yes.
U.S. Congress,
Yes.
that's a hint. The formula. Would you ever run again?
I have often thought about that, and actually, I've had several people to even ask me to run again. And my response has been this: now that I see what's happening, there's so much negativity, and not very much is getting done. And I'm a person who loves helping people and who likes getting things done. I would be terrible in that environment.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm kind of happy that I didn't win, because I would have been miserable
Yeah.
for 2 whole years.
2 years. That's
You know?
crazy. You think you want it. You think you want it. You put so much time, effort, and energy into it. I think this is what I want to do. And then you realize this is so it takes planning.
I'm glad I didn't get that.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
I cried over that thing, but I'm glad I didn't get that one. Yeah.
God knows best, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Your failure report is such an inspiration to me, though, because as a business consultant, I do know how hard it is to find individuals doing anything where you leave your job and believe in yourself
Yes.
and know that you're going to be able to do these things. It's difficult,
Yes.
to do. But I love that you said plan. That's your secret sauce, because I was going to ask you what's your secret to future success.
Better planning.
Yeah.
Better planning.
Be a planner.
Yes.
And you can have the big picture. You can believe.
Exactly.
To plan for it.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
amazing.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
So this is our time where we do our shameless shout outs.
Okay.
I know that you are a speaker, and now you are on the speaking circuit speaking about leadership. And remind me again?
And employee engagement.
And employee engagement. Do you have any books? YouTube
Sure.
channels? I know that you've got your hand on a lot of different things. I need to know where to find you and what you're up to.
My latest book is about business leadership. It's called 7 Needs of High Performing Employees.
That's
Very
amazing.
good. Yeah, and I just did a luncheon on it last week, and it turned out great.
Amazing.
Turned out awesome. My website is speakerholley.com. Speaker, HOLLEY.com. So go there. You can see all my books, all my latest events that we have, all my other links.
Yeah, and all of your handles on social media where we can follow you and know where you're going to be. And do you do whenever you speak about your book? Do you do that in more corporate settings, or where have you found your niche?
Corporate. My last setting was at the Huntsville Library.
Okay.
And so we invited local business leaders, and we had about 15 to 20 of them to come out.
That's awesome.
And we just went over the entire book. It was an awesome time because we had a very interesting Q&A session
After it.
where those leaders got to talk to each other. They got to share. Everybody learned, and we got such of a positive feedback from that.
I love
so
that.
we would love to come to Louisville, Kentucky, and do that.
Well, now let's make that happen.
Yes.
Because it is. I'm a part of a masterminds group, and the ability to sit and just share. Sometimes being a leader is lonely.
Yes.
Oftentimes. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But having those, mine is a ladies group, and I'm new to the group, but being able to just talk to those ladies and say, this is what I'm going through. This is what I've experienced.
Yes.
This is what the help I need. Or, hey, I'm looking for a contract in this situation.
Yes.
Do you have a connection? This lady is a part of a masterminds group, and in Chicago, and they have a reciprocity circle. So they go around and they say, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I need. And, you know, you fill things out, things come back to you. And she says, I want to meet Michelle Obama. And everyone's like, well,
Yeah, right.
so do I.
Yeah, everybody. You and about 1 million other people,
Exactly.
okay?
And someone in her group was a member of the foundation that knew this gal,
Wow.
that knew this one, that
Off
and
connections?
off of connections. But we have not because we asked not.
Right.
So there's awesome opportunities that are out there. I love this
Yes.
opportunity to have shameless shout outs for that very
Yes.
reason. Because you can say, this is what I do, this is what I'm looking for. So if
Yes.
anyone is interested in a speaker to be able to come out, speak with them on employee engagement, on leadership, on diversity and inclusion, on the things that I know that your book is really speaking about,
Yes.
I would love for you all to be able to go to speakerholly.com
Absolutely.
to be able to find out more information.
Absolutely.
I also have one last thing I'd like to do. It's called rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You're ready?
Now, I'm not so good at rapid fire things, but
Yeah,
I'll
right.
do my
You're
best.
going to try to do your best. Okay. If you were in any 90s sitcom, what would it be?
90s sitcom. Wow, 90s sitcom. I would say The Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons. That was definitely the 70s, but you can go. You can be on
Was
the
that the 70s? I'm thinking that's the 90s stuff. But I love
I did
that rags to riches story.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
and they had some failures along the way.
Yes, they did. A
But
lot
they
of them.
finally made it.
They made it on up
Yeah.
to the east side.
Yes, yes, that's right.
If you were
Also-
a superhero, who would it be?
I would say Superman.
Superman. Why?
I would say Superman.
Kryptonite.
Because he has such a passion for people. He just loves helping people.
true. He loves
Even though he has that huge weakness, right? Just like we all do.
Sure.
But his passion was helping people.
I love that.
The Ambition Planner was mindfully curated for the ambitious woman of faith. As a CEO and founder of multiple companies, from a forensic marketing agency to a tech company, my days and schedule are full. As a woman of faith, it was very, very important to me to be able to find a planner that encompassed all of the things that I was looking for. Starting my day spiritually centered, being able to think about the things that I was grateful for in a culturally inclusive planner, I just could not find it. So I created the Ambition Planner. Our mission is to empower women of faith by organizing their day with a planner that offers spiritual guidance, boosts productivity, and helps identify and obtain their daily goals. The purpose of the Ambition Planner is to provide a sacred space for women to plan their day, set their goals and intentions while staying spiritually centered and productivity driven. The Ambition Planner's vision is to become every woman's most valuable productivity resource. Purchase the Ambition Planner at theambitionplanner.com. There, you'll be able to pick your planner, your cover, and the best thing is our planners are broken down into quarters. Therefore, quarter 3 is just around the corner. Again, for more information, visit our website at theambitionplanner.com and start on your ambitious journey today.
Yes.
Let's see. If you were to describe yourself in 3 words,
Oh, wow.
what would those words be?
Passionate,
Connected,
connected,
experienced.
and experienced.
That's right.
They worked out really well there, didn't it? Yeah, awesome.
I love it.
Yes.
Well, we'll make sure and link all of your connections at the bottom of our episode so that you can find Charlie Holley if you are looking for an individual to speak at your next event.
Yes.
We'll tag all of your handles, and I am so grateful for
Thank
you
you.
being here with me today. I
Thank you.
haven't gotten the opportunity to sit down and speak with you in since maybe 2012, since we
Yes.
last saw each
Uh-huh,
other.
that's right.
So just hearing this story, being able to reminisce on these times is really good, and it reminds me why I do what I do.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
I appreciate that so
Awesome.
much,
Thank
Charlie.
you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much for being here today.
Thank you, Dion.
Absolutely.
Thank you to those who sponsored and supported this episode. And the biggest thank you to Sophia Mobley Photography and Videography for being the dopest producer, sound engineer, and editor in the land. Please like, share, and subscribe at The Failure Report on YouTube, Facebook, Facebook Watch, Instagram, IGTV, and on Twitter at Report Failure since The Failure Report was taken. You can listen on Spotify, iTunes Podcasts, or wherever you consume content. To get notifications on our upcoming episodes, please visit our website at thefailurereport.org. There you can subscribe to become a fellow failure and get access to our blog and merchandise. We have things like mugs, t-shirts, notepads, all the things. I'm Dion Stokes. Thanks so much for listening.